Why do they see you as a threat?
I think every strong woman in history has had to walk down a similar path, and I think it's the strength that causes the confusion and the fear. Why is she strong? Where does she get it from? Where is she taking it? Where is she going to use it? Why do the public still support her?
Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well and that you had a great week. To all of my house guests, come in, make yourselves at home, make yourselves comfortable. If you're passing by and you'd like to become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. I'm Chez, this is Chez M0i. Welcome to my place. If you're of a certain age, you may be familiar with Aesop's Fables, a collection of stories attributed to Aesop, a slave and storyteller from ancient Greece who lived between 620 and 564 BC. These fables often feature anthropomorphic animals and convey moral lessons, and they have been passed down through oral tradition and various adaptations over the centuries. One of my absolute favourites is The Tortoise and the Hare, that teaches the lesson that slow and steady wins the race. In the story, a boastful hare races against a slow tortoise, but the hare's overconfidence leads him to take a nap, allowing the tortoise to win through perseverance. As regular house guests, you'll know that I sometimes like to clarify the definition of certain words as it pertains to the context of the video.
Sublime.
Oxford Languages has two definitions of this adjective. The first one is of very great excellence or beauty. The example given is Mozart's sublime piano concertos. Similar words are exalted, elevated, noble. Second definition is of a person's attitude or behaviour, extreme or unparalleled. The example, he had the sublime confidence of youth. Similar words are supreme, total, complete. When Harry and Meghan first stepped back from royal duties over 5.5 years ago, I think it's fair to assume that the weak-minded cohort who rely on the British tabloid media for their information collectively wished for and still wish for the downfall of the Sussexes, much in the same way the establishment willed for Diana's excommunication from the firm when she refused to play their sick games.
Do you think you'll ever be Queen?
No, I don't. No.
Why do you think that?
I'd like to be a queen of people's hearts, in people's hearts, but I don't see myself being queen of this country. I don't think many people would want me to be queen. Actually, when I say many people, I mean the establishment that I'm married into, because they've decided that I'm a non-starter.
Why do you think they've decided that?
Because I do things differently. because I don't go by a rule book, because I lead from the heart, not the head. And albeit that's got me into trouble in my work, I understand that. But someone's got to go out there and love people and show it.
And do you think that because of the way you behave, that's precluded you effectively from becoming Queen?
Yes, well, not precluded me, I wouldn't say that. I just don't think I have as many supporters in that environment than I did. Yeah.
You mean within the royal household?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They see me as a threat of some kind. And I'm here to do good. I'm not a destructive person.
Why do they see you as a threat?
I think every strong woman in history has had to walk down a similar path. And I think it's the strength that causes the confusion and the fear. Why is she strong? Where does she get it from? Where is she taking it? Where is she going to use it? Why do the public still support her? When I say public, you go in and do an engagement and there's a great many people there.
Unfortunately, Diana was left alone, exposed, without a clear long-term strategy for her future, making her more vulnerable to the plans created in the dark to bring about her demise. The powers that be didn't expect Harry and Meghan to develop a long-term and sustainable strategy to ensure they would never have to be beholden to the firm and the lying royal rota. We are fully aware that certain members of the royal family only gave the Sussex marriage 5 years, after which they hoped Harry would be returning to the UK, cap in hand, begging to be reattached to the tight royal purse strings, while Meghan, Archie and Lily were meant to be languishing back in the US. 7 years later, and where do we find ourselves? In July 2025, we are witnessing an unstable institution, members of whom are cracking under the pressure to perform, experiencing mental and physical discomfort, while aging rapidly like sour milk, despite them never having to create their own schedules and having a steady stream of servants at their disposal.
Let's talk about Prince William, or should I say, what's left of him. Because once upon a time, and I do mean once, he was that guy. The teenage daydream. A walking Ralph Lauren ad. Sun-bleached hair, cheekbones for the gods, and the kind of smirk that made preteens believe in fairy tales and tiaras. He was giving future King of Hearts. Fast forward to now and the monarchy isn't the only thing crumbling. So is that face card. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. Arrogance aged him. Jealousy styled him. And bitterness did the final blow. Because this isn't just a hair loss situation. That's the least of it. Jason Statham is bald. Stanley Tucci is bald. Meghan's husband is bald. The issue isn't the scalp. It's the energy. William went from soft boy prince to saltine in a suit. That light, that charm, gone. Replaced with permanent press conference scowl and I'll have your job by morning eyebrows. His aura used to say charming air. Now it screams divorce lawyer in a BBC drama. And let's not ignore the fact that while Harry grew up into a rugged ginger daddy with a feminist pulse and a beach dad aura, William decided to become the human version of the Queen's corgis. Stiff, spoiled, and occasionally snappy. At this point, even his follicles packed up and said, "We are not standing by this behavior." So what happened to Prince William's looks? Character. Character happened. And no moisturizer, no tailored blazer, no last-ditch buzz cut can ever cover up the fact that the inside started leaking out. The glow-up never came because the glow left the building. And it's living somewhere in Montecito now. Sipping rosé with better energy. Good luck, Baldwin.
Similar to the hair in Aesop's fable, the Left Behinds thought they could get ahead by continuing to rely on preconceptions and ancient traditions. Effectively, they took a nap. Failing to understand that times have changed to such a degree that society values innovation over inertia, because change is inevitable, and to resist change is futile. Just like Diana, her second son and his wife are different and do things differently. Similar to the tortoise in Aesop's fable, Harry and Meghan know the only way they can attain their goals is to take time to plan, ignore what their contemporaries are doing, and remain diligent and consistent in everything they create. It would appear that a certain royal commentator, who was once sheepish about showing her support for Meghan, is now becoming more vocal in sharing her opinions.
I think that in the UK we have an attitude towards her. I think that it is pretty unconscious, but actually it's kind of conscious in many ways because people love to hate her.
I'll be honest, I don't think unconscious bias exists, right? I don't believe in that term. I don't think it's a thing. It's about acknowledging a bias that you have and thinking about how you can undo that and regard yourself and other people better. People don't want to think that about themselves. They don't want to think that I'm racist, or I'm misogynistic, or I'm a snob, or I'm classist. They don't want to accept that that is a thing in society. They don't want to accept that that might be something that they have perpetuated, and so there'll just be a complete denial and put the blame back on her.
As well as sharing her joy at receiving her delivery of products from As Ever, and although I haven't yet tasted Meghan's offering, just this image alone, far removed from what you would ever see on this side of the pond, is enough to put a huge smile on my face, reminding me once again that it's sometimes the simplest things that are the most sublime. So with that, I wanted to read you the following article, which also put a smile on my face. This article, written by Rachel Birchfield, is published on InStyle.com on the 10th of July 2025, and the headline reads, I tried Meghan Markle's new rosé. Here's whether the $30 wine is worth the hype. It tastes like a drink that Meghan and Diana might have enjoyed together. Here's a section called The Gist. Meghan Markle's As Ever lifestyle brand released its first alcohol product, a 2023 Napa Valley Rosé, on July 1st. On July 9th, a package with 3 bottles of the bespoke blend showed up on my doorstep, so, twist my arm, I imbibed in the name of journalism. Here's my honest review of the new As Ever Rosé. Following 2 drops of food products, including her famous jam and flour sprinkles, on July 1st, Meghan Markle released her first alcohol offering, a 2023 Napa Valley Rosé, on what would have been her mother-in-law, Princess Diana's 64th birthday. When a package with 3 bottles of As Ever Rosé showed up on my doorstep on July 9th, I enlisted my husband to taste test the bespoke blend with me. After playing pretend sommeliers in our kitchen, looking at each other as we simultaneously took our first sips to gauge the other's reactions, I've gathered my honest thoughts of the rosé, which the company said is the first of many in its forthcoming wine offerings. The bottle describes the pour as a delicately balanced rosé with soft notes of stone fruit, gentle minerality, and a lasting finish. Beyond the marketing speak, in layman's terms, the rosé is good. My experience with it? It is smooth, almost dangerously smooth, as we finished the whole bottle in one night without even trying. And no, I'm not hungover this morning. It goes down easy and is dry and light. To hear my husband describe it, his 3 adjectives were lively, refreshing, and pleasant. Mine? Flavourful, sweet, and enjoyable. The As Ever Rosé sold out in less than an hour on July 1st, priced at $30 per bottle and sold in sets of 3 bottles. Consumers were taking a gamble on rosé they'd never tried, committing to 3 bottles while not yet knowing if they'd even want to finish the first. As customers' packages arrive any day now, I think they'll be glad they made the investment, albeit maybe against their will, in 3 bottles. You can also buy half cases for $159 and full cases for $300. With every As Ever product Meghan releases, the pressure is on. Unfortunately, people want to see the Duchess of Sussex fail, so you can safely bet that As Ever isn't going to release a product unless it's good, and this rosé is good, really good actually. Made in small batches, the bespoke blend is the first of a collection of wines joining As Ever's lineup, according to the company. A Méthode Champenoise Napa Valley sparkling wine is planned for the near future, with other wines to follow thereafter. I don't know if launching her rosé on Diana's birthday was intentional, but after trying it, it tastes like a drink the 2 women might have enjoyed together over an outdoor lunch in the summertime, either in the garden of Harry and Meghan's Montecito, California home, or at a cafe by the water, had fate been more fair to the late Princess of Wales, who died nearly 28 years ago at just 36 years old. In the marketing materials for the rosé, the brand is very much pushing that this is a drink designed for the summer, and they're not wrong. The release was planned to launch just in time for summer entertaining and is crisp and beautifully balanced. This is made for summer's best moments, from lunches that turn into dinners and sun-drenched weekends where the only thing that's louder than the music is the laughter. This blend captures the essence of celebration, inviting wine lovers to toast all the moments that matter most, both big and small. While that's a little more cheesy than I may have put it, at least we now have a wine to pair with it. I have tried celebrity alcohol products because I liked the celebrity and had to pour it down the drain because it tasted disgusting. Maybe after a few more glasses of rosé I will name names. This is not that. I not only look forward to savouring the 2 bottles we have left of the rosé throughout the summer, but to trying the sparkling wine, also very much in my personal preference wheelhouse, when it comes out. Those who don't write about Meghan on a daily basis like I do might have thought that the Duchess of Sussex was just another A-list celebrity passively putting their name on an alcohol product to make a few extra bucks. But those that actually know Meghan's story, how her popular blog was named the Tig, after Tignanello, a red wine that she fell in love with in her pre-Prince Harry days, for example, know that this business decision is actually authentic and true to who she is and where her passions lie. Let Meghan tell you herself from her own words when she launched her lifestyle brand As Ever earlier this year. As ever means as it's always been, or some even say in the same way as always, she wrote at the time. If you followed along since my days of creating the Tig, you'll know that this couldn't be truer for me. This new chapter is an extension of what has always been my love language, beautifully weaving together everything I cherish: food, gardening, entertaining, thoughtful living, and finding joy in the everyday. After the rosé sold out so quickly earlier this month, As Ever posted a photo of a laughing Meghan with the caption, "Still soaking it in, feeling endlessly grateful. Cheers to what's ahead." Honestly, after drinking a couple of unexpected glasses of rosé on a rainy Wednesday night, I have to say, I'm feeling good about what's ahead for the brand. They're really onto something here. guys, if you detect a dip in energy, I apologise. We are in the middle of a third heat wave in the UK, and UK heat, particularly London heat, is not very pleasant. So I'm a bit drained, okay? I do apologise. Despite that, I wanted to come on and wrap up this video just to acknowledge a couple of things. Firstly, the fact that Meghan's Instagram account has reached over 4 million followers in 7 months. I'm sure Piers Morgan is crying into his beer right now. I think he's still stuck at 2 million. I actually haven't checked. I don't care about that man, but he's not at 4 million, okay? Secondly, 30 months ago, on the day this video uploads, Guinness World Records published on their website the fact that Harry's Spare was the fastest selling non-fiction book of all time, and I think on its first day it sold 1.43 million, which beat the previous record holder, who was Barack Obama. I think it was 800,000 he sold on the first day. You guys, you know better than me, but that's what I remember from the information I saw. And it just confirms to me yet again that the byproduct of authenticity is acknowledgement. Meghan and Harry do not have to try. They just are. They are them, and they're not going to change for anyone. They're not going to bow to the pressure of the establishment. They're not going to bow to the pressure of the online trolls. They will continue to be them because they cannot be anyone else. They can't be anyone else. You know, the tired old arguments, take their titles away. They don't deserve their titles, take them away. They are still Harry and Meghan. I've said this before in videos previously. They will still have the same impact. They will still have the same influence. And it just uplifts me to know that someone actually genuinely wrote about Meghan's wine in such glowing terms, because really she could have trashed it. She would have been paid more money to trash that, but she gave her honest opinion. I've not seen a review, not that I'm a wine drinker, guys. I do enjoy a glass of wine occasionally, but I'm not a wine drinker like that. But I've never heard any of Highgrove Estates wines being given a glowing review. Not that I would know, but I guess I would have heard if it was exceptional. But to know that Meghan, well, you guys already know, Meghan is about the quality, not about the quantity. And she said failure is not an option, if you remember her podcast interview with Emma Grede recently. And even if failure, in inverted commas, were to occur, you learn from it, so it's still not a failure. And that's what I love about this woman. She is, you know, continues to block out the noise, because literally she's not going to let anything stop her. And for all the people who say, oh, she's so greedy for money, she wants money. Yes, they do want this woman to starve. They want this woman to be destitute. Yeah. William, Charles, they can skim off and fleece the residents of the UK left, right and centre, and nothing is being said. They are fleecing us, taking our money. Nothing is being said. It's okay. Meghan works her butt off, building her brand, which is so successful in the first half of 2025. And she's criminalised for that. No criminalisation here. She has nothing to prove. She's already proved it. She doesn't need to shout from the rooftop. She speaks through her work. Both Harry and Meghan speak through their work. So there is nothing, you know, there's nothing for these, but what more do these people have in their arsenal to shoot at Harry and Meghan? There's nothing. It's the same regurgitated nonsense. Meghan opening her Instagram account means that she has control about what she shares. And when she does share things, they want to come down on her about that. She doesn't care if you didn't understand before, derangers. She doesn't care what you think. She will post what she posts. She will share what she shares. And it's not for your consumption. It's for the consumption of her supporters. If you didn't understand, if you didn't get it. So you can follow her, because obviously you're not following your future queen. But Meghan will give you more content than your future queen ever could. It goes without saying. Anyway, guys, let me get out of this heat because I'm about to collapse. I don't even know how I've lasted this long. So, if your thoughts were provoked in any way, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. I want to take this opportunity to thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and you shall catch me in the next video.